There were some scary moments in this book. I'll tell you, had me screaming and shouting, going, no, no, no. But anyways, welcome to the Deluise Book Series. I'm Kristina, Kristina. I read series. I like to binge read series, especially long ones. I like to read about the character's progression from book to book to book. The longer the better the series, but every now and then I'll stumble on a short series like this one. Unfortunately, I think there's one more book and then that's it, as I recently discovered the author has passed away recently. But she does have 2 longer series that I will be trying to find. Some of them are from the 90s, so to binge read that whole series, you have to go back, and most of them are going to be ebooks, so I'm going to experiment with some stuff with that. But anyways, please check out my Star Trek Fridays, Next Generation. We are into the Borg now. We are going to be starting season 4 next week. We just finished season 3, Best of Both Worlds. So check that out. And don't forget to check Monday for Flashback Monday. I'm grabbing my old Romantic Times review magazines. I will list a few of the of each category: inspirational, fiction, romance, Regency, urban, all that kind of stuff. And then I will see which books I still currently have in stock, which books I bought back then, as I used to buy gazillions of books each month. I wish I'd known about this stuff back then. I could have been doing this like crazy back then. But anyways, today we are doing Anne Perry, A Truth to Lie For. And it does have some scary moments. Elena Standish is a photographer. She's also a newly recruited MI6 operative. She's not a Tom Cruise. She's not doing those stunts, I'm telling you. But she does some scary stuff. Her sister is Margaret Driscoll, who is a widow. Charles is her father. Catherine is her mother. Lucas is her grandfather, who was a former MI6 operative, or leader, actually, I should say, retired. Peter Howard is the new leader of the MI6 gang. And Josephine is Lucas's wife. And Roger Cordell is the sort of MI6, not really, because he's sort of on the traitorish line. He works in the British Embassy in Berlin. And his daughter, in the last book, I cringed all over the place about it, and I'm still cringing all over the place about it, that his daughter married one of the head people in Hitler's organization. Although he does come, I will spoil alert, he does show some good at the end. So that's a little bit a relief. But how much, there's one more book, and I don't know, that's all we're going to get is the next book, so I have no idea what's going to go on. So anyways, so Peter comes to Elena and says, I have an assignment for you. We have 2 scientists in Germany. One is working on the ultimate bio disease, and the other is working on the cure for the bio disease. They must be getting out. They must be left Germany or killed. They have to get out. Your job is to rescue this one guy, Hartwick, and somebody else is going to go rescue the Fassler. So she goes to Berlin, and then Lucas meets with Peter Howard again. After she has already left, Peter has this thing where I'm going to tell Lucas, but I'm going to wait till Elena leaves to inform him of this situation, because he likes to keep Lucas informed. And then Lucas will tell his wife, Josephine. Then Hans, Roger Cordell's son-in-law, who married his daughter, Cecile, the guy that's, his parents are so proud of him that he got in with Hitler, and he was a lieutenant. I forget the rank. I wrote it down someplace, sorry, but he gets promoted later on in the book. So his parents are so proud of him, and he got to meet Hitler in person, and they were so happy. It brought tears to his parents' eyes. And then he comes home to his house, and he sees Cordell with his wife, and he's like, oh, well, she is his father, and we just had the granddaughter, blah, blah, blah. Then Elena gets to Berlin, and she makes contact with Dieter. He's working as a bellboy in a hotel, and so he gives her the information to Hartwig, and then she makes contact with Hartwig and tells him he needs to leave ASAP. The Gestapo are around, and she's trying to figure out how she can get Hartwig out of Berlin. So she goes and digs up Jacob Ritter from the previous book. He writes for American newspapers in Berlin. And then later Lucas meets with Peter Howard again, and Peter gives her an update. Then Hans and Cicely have breakfast, and he meets with Paulson and Hitler again. Hans is worried about Hitler. He buys his mother some flowers, and his mother is so happy that her son is doing so well. And he goes home, and there again is Cordell with his wife. Later on, Elena meets with Jacob to schedule plans, and then Hans meets with Paulson again, and Paulson says, so, your father-in-law is head of the British Embassy, huh? So that has a little bit of tension. Then Elena meets with Hartwig, and they get in a car driven by Jacob, and they get stuck in traffic, there's a whole bunch of checkpoints over there. They're checking people's papers. And I have to tell you that having traveled in Europe, oh, sorry, Casanova. Having traveled in Europe a very long time ago, as you saw in the previous one of the books I did a little slideshow. I'm experimenting this week. And having been over in Europe before the wall came down, the wall was still up in Berlin, and to have them look at the paper, look at you, look at the paper, look at you. And all right, the photo was a couple of years old, and I was younger then, so you grew spurs, and they look at the paper and they look at you. It is so unnerving. It is just cringeworthy. You're sitting there, you're so scared to death. You would not believe, even though that is you, but they look at the paper, they look at you, and if you went to East Berlin, you couldn't wear West Berlin t-shirts. I've got a story for you on that one. So, do you want to get up, or do you want to hang? You're purring up a storm here, Casanova. How's it going? You good? I can't hold my book and you at the same time. Yeah, how's that? Cordell tells Hans not to turn his back on Paulus. Elena and Jacob and the professor make it to Munich before things go to hell in a handbasket. Is that the phrase? The I forget what it's called. I wrote it. It's in the book. Day of the Knife or something. This must be his famous event that happened. I'm not sure about it. Do you want to go? Go. So then Paulus goes with him. Paulus questions Hans about Cordell again, and it makes him a little uneasy. Then Elena, Jacob, and Harwood leave the hotel. They get out, but in the midst of the lockdown, the police checking, the checkpoint, should I say, Hartwig gets shot in the head and dies instantly. So then they decide that they must go back to Berlin and warn Dieter about it so he can get word. I'm thinking, no, keep going, get out. But you know me. Peter Howard later has another meeting with Lucas, informing him of all the stuff that was going on over in Germany. They're getting intel reports left and right. I still don't understand why the United States had their head in the sand during this whole point, but we won't even go there. Oh, here it is. Hans gets promoted to captain, and Paulus gets a message that Lucas Standish has come to kill him. In a previous thing, Peter said that they really need to get rid of this guy, and Lucas is like, I need to do it. And he's like, you're 80 years old. You could blah, 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 blah. Well, then he's spotted coming off the plane. He's not even takes 2 steps off the plane, and people are reporting to the Paulson that he's there. And Paulson has a personal previous experience with Lucas, so he has it out for him. But in the end, Hans does a really superior thing. And to find out about that, you'll have to read the book. And to find out, and I'm not exactly sure technically, because the book does end on a cliffhanger, if Elena ever makes it out of Berlin, because when the book ends, she's still in Berlin. Lucas, however, I think has left. I'm not exactly sure. So there are a couple of cliffhangers. I'm hoping they're resolved in the next book, which is due out. And that's going to be the last book in the series. So we'll see what happens. But don't forget to check out Star Trek Fridays, Flashback Mondays, and my daily book reviews. I'm going to do some J.D. Robs. I did an unboxing the other day, so I want to do a little more binging on my J.D. Rob before I read Payback. Because we've only got till February for the next one, but then you got to wait from February to September. You know, Nora, she writes, she used to write several books a year. She used to write 3 Noras and 2 JDs, and then 2 short story JDs, but she stopped doing the short stories several years ago. So it's just the 3 Noras and the 2 JDs. So we'll see what happens there. But you got to check this out. This has been a really good series. I've enjoyed the heck out of it. And I'm sorry there's only 5 books in it. But I'm going to look into the Monk series and see what that's all about. And the other one, the Charlotte and Thomas Pitt one. I might try that one. I'm more into the partnership issues. Was it the Andrea Penrod, the Wexford? That is a good series, and I like my Victoria Thompson. I've got one of those later on. I've got a few brand new books that I've never read. I got to go find them. But please like and subscribe. I have no special effects. I have no theme music. I have nothing. It's just me reading books, talking books. So I appreciate your support. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.